Hey guys! So, October's over. Oh my gosh, that was a tough one for me. Hollow Week was pretty intense. I almost didn't do it just because I felt like I might not have enough time. Obviously I did because I did do Hollow Week, but it was pretty intense. I was pretty much working on the videos up until the day that they were posted. And for me, I like to at least have stuff done a few days before, at least, so that I can double check everything, make sure everything's good. I was also working on Inktober every single day last month, and so that was like another thing that was like pretty intense as well. So I figured for today's video, since I'm sort of recovering from the last few weeks, I decided to do something pretty simple. And actually it's related to my Inktober stuff. So I guess this is kind of an art-related DIY, so I'm hoping that it's still useful for some of you guys. So here are my Inktobers that I did. So many of them. I will be putting these up in my store. There'll be a link down below to my store. By the time this video goes out, I probably won't have them up yet. I still have to scan them high res and put all of them in. I mean, there's a bunch of them, so I'm going to be putting these up as originals and then also the prints for them, and then I'm going to be starting a book pre-order. So if any of that kind of stuff interests you, then keep an eye out. I'm aiming to have everything up by this weekend. That may change, it might be a little bit delayed just because I have to get to it when I have time. So yeah, if you want to be updated on when they get put up there, then just follow me on Instagram or Twitter. I will be posting on there when everything is up. But anyway, if you have been following my art videos or my Instagram, seeing my work in progress videos, you probably noticed that the main pen that I would use is this guy, my Pentel Arts Pocket Brush Pen. I freaking love it. It's a little portable brush pen. It's really nice. It has a bristle brush tip rather than a felt tip, which I really like. You can get a lot of cool effects with it, but the only thing is that when you're using it as much as I used it for Inktober, it runs out pretty fast. And thankfully they have ink cartridge refills, but if you're inking as much as I was just doing, then you go through them pretty quickly and the cost can add up. So one cost-saving thing that I like to do is to refill the ink cartridges with some Black India ink. It's really easy and simple as long as you have the right tools. I actually need to refill this thing today. Perfect timing, right after I finished my Inktober, I needed to refill it. So I'm going to be showing you guys how you can refill one of these Pentel Arts Pocket Brush Pen ink cartridges. So let's get started. You'll need a Pentel Arts Pocket Brush Pen, Black India ink. I'm using the Dr. P.H. Martin's Black Star Matte India ink. A syringe. This is not a needle tip, it is a blunt tip, so there's no danger of poking yourself. I mean, unless you try really hard at it. And gloves. Unless you don't really care about getting ink all over yourself. I'll leave an affiliate link to all of this stuff down in the description box below. Here is the state of my brush right now. Pretty dried up. Some people actually like to keep multiple brushes at various states of ink levels to get different effects when drawing. This dry brush look can actually be what you're going for in some cases. But for me, I wanted this to be full of ink, so here we go. You can skip on the gloves if you feel confident enough, but it takes a bit of practice to do this without getting ink all over your hands, so proceed gloveless at your own risk. The pack of syringe I got came with a variety of sizes. I chose one of the medium-sized bodies and one of the smaller tips. You just twist the tip onto the barrel and your syringe is ready to go. Take the pen apart. I like to put the cap back onto the tip to keep the brush covered as I do this, and then pull out the empty ink cartridge. Suck up some ink and slowly squeeze it into the cartridge. Be careful that the ink doesn't get hung up by an air bubble like mine did. Just keep the tip to the side and squeeze slowly. Fill it up to this ridge at the top of the cartridge. It should hold about 1 milliliter. If you overfill it, it's just going to squeeze out when you put the cartridge back in place and get all over your hands. Just use a syringe to remove the extra ink if you do overfill it. push the cartridge back into the tip of the pen firmly. And that's pretty much it. Here's how the pen performs immediately after refilling it, but it will take a little while for the new ink to fully saturate the brush. And here's how it performed after sitting for a few hours. Like new. I actually had another Pentel Pocket brush pen that was empty. I used to have just one, but I misplaced one, and after not being able to find it for a long time, I caved and bought a new one because Inktober was coming up and I needed my brush pen for it. So naturally, I found the old one a few days later. You know how it goes. Anyway, for the sake of this video, I thought it would be fun to try to fill it with colored ink for the next time it dried out. So here it is. As you can see, I'm chancing it with just one glove for this. I basically filled the pen the same way, but with colored India ink instead. Okay, so this was mostly a test and it kind of had bad results, but I wanted to include it anyway so you guys would know if using colored India ink would work or not. I've tried refilling different kinds of brushes with heavily pigmented and opaque India inks, and it's always gummed up the bristles, so I wanted to try it with other types of India inks. The ones that I've used unsuccessfully would settle in the bottle, so you'd have to shake it before using it, like this. So this time I chose one of the ones that never seems to settle. I figured that there was an issue with the fact that the ink separates. I thought that that had something to do with the bristles getting gummed up. Anyway, initially it looked like it would work, but after I let it sit for a few hours, it proved to gum up the brush as well. I was pretty bummed. I thought my dreams of having a colored Pentel Pocket brush pen was over, but then I remembered that I had some calligraphy ink on hand, so I wanted to try that. For this ink, I actually dropped the bottle and it broke, so I had to salvage what I could and I put it into a Grey Poupon bottle, so I don't remember what the brand was or the color, but it's made to use with nib pens. If I can find it, I'll put the name of the stuff and the brand on the screen right now, and I'll put a link to it down below if you're interested. I cleaned the brush and the cartridge as best as I could, and then I refilled it again the same way as before. And here it is immediately after refilling. The brush is still full of water, so it looks pretty faint. And here it is after a few hours, and it seemed to have worked. I'm not sure why the colorful India inks gum up the bristles, but the black India ink doesn't seem to. There has to be different binders in the ink that dry differently, but I assume that all India ink had the same kind of stuff in it, so yeah, I don't know. So if you really want a colorful brush pen, then I would suggest just using calligraphy ink. This is a great way to save a bit of money with these pens. It may seem a bit extreme, but I go through these ink cartridges like crazy and it tends to add up. I actually do have a bunch of refills that I carry in my little travel case thing, but I try to refill with the ink and syringe when I can, so that if I run out when I'm traveling, I can just use these store-bought refills. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it was a pretty easy, low-key one. I kind of needed a little breather project, so hopefully that's okay. If you did like this video, if you found it helpful, then please leave a like, and if you want to see more, then feel free to subscribe. I post art videos every Tuesday and DIY videos every Thursday. You can follow me on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest, Snapchat, and Twitch, and I'll leave the information to all of those down below. Thank you to my patrons for helping me produce this video. If you're interested in becoming a patron, then I'll leave a link to mine right up here, and you can go check it out. If you have any questions or suggestions for future videos, please leave a comment down below, and I'll see you next week.